Online. Okay, started.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this very unique and exclusive dialogue session. My name is Sulo, and I'll be your host for today. Before I go further, just a little bit of background to this dialogue session. The Special Artist Exhibition 2021, or SAE 2021, is an online art exhibition that was launched on 2nd of April and is still ongoing till 2nd of June 2021. So the main objective of this exhibition is to provide a platform to young, new talents and established artists with special needs to showcase their artwork. A total of 15 artists have participated and showcased their respective and brilliant artwork. And I must add that this platform was absolutely free for the special artists who participated, and all proceeds from the sale of their art will be channeled directly to the individual artists themselves. So joining me today, this evening, are three beautiful ladies. Firstly, Priya, the director of Play and Paint Art Venture. And then I've got Madam Helen Lee, the mother of one of the artists, and his name is Anthony Lee. And I've also got Dr. Anne, the mother of the artist by the name of Yuri Azari with us today. All right. So, Priya, would you be able to just show us what SAE or Special Artist Exhibition is all about? Basically, it was a very unique online exhibition, which meant that the scope of audience went just as long as someone had internet connection, they would be able to um, view this exhibition. This came about because of the pandemic. As we all know, art exhibitions usually take place at a very nice venue where artists get to, display their work and people get to actually watch them and sometimes and most of the time speak to the artists themselves. So this is how the SAE online looks like. And then we also have the work of all the 15 artists in that page itself. And Priya would just help to show all this very briefly. We've got, as you can see, the artist by the name of Andrew Chu.
Andrew Lau,
Andrew Lau, yes. And
Anthony Lee,
yes.
Ashley Wong,
Mhm.
Chung Zin Kai, Clement Chang, Damien Wong, Daniel Kusairi, Lim Wen Ren, Nurul Akmal, Kwazi Wan, Sanjana Murugan, Sarandev Murugan, Triloshini Ponwel, and Yuri Azari.
All right. So thank you so much for sharing that, Priya. So those were the 15 artists and their brilliant, brilliant work. And it's all still online. It will be available until 2nd of June, 2021. You can find the description or the link later on in the description of this video. All right. So let's start this session. I would like to please join me in welcoming Madam Helen Lee. And yeah, let's start. Madam Helen, how are you today?
Oh, fine. Thank you, Sulo. Thank
Uh,
you
th-
very much for this opportunity, Priya and Sulo, for sharing my views. Um, as announced earlier, my full name is Helen Lee Min Chin. My occupation is advocate and solicitor. I run my own law firm, and I must say that I'm working on flexi time because of my son, Anthony Lee, who has autism since the age of 4. So moving on to your next question about when I discovered that my child was extra special or has special needs. Um, well, it all started when he was about 3 plus. I noticed that he was very reserved. He didn't like hugs, and he was able to start walking at a very early age. There was very little crawling. He was a rather quiet baby, um, not interactive at all. And when I called him, it was as though he was deaf or something. He didn't turn around, and he seemed to like spinning things, spinning the wheels of his tricycle. you know he wasn't interacting with his eldest brother, and well, it went on, but he looked so chubby and so cute. Everybody told me, well, he's a late talker, don't worry. And one day I was watching a TV program, and there was a neurologist who was talking, and she was showing videos of children with special needs, with learning difficulties, attention span, and so on.
okay.
And something just clicked. I could see some of the problems that I was facing with my child in those videos. So I took the trouble to trace her through the TV Malaysia, and I insisted that you know I bring my son to see her. So I went to the hospital. She came from Klang, where she was practicing, and she gave me an assessment. So at the end of the assessment, she told me that I think your son has autistic features. You know, so it was a big shock. It was really I wasn't prepared for it, and it was like as though I, 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 I felt as though I had a very cold shower. So I was just holding my son's hand and walking back, and I was really frozen. But well, it has taken a lot of courage and a lot of self reflection, and also my husband was very understanding. He's a medical doctor, and we managed to pull through. Initially, we were in denial, but we realized that it wasn't going to help anybody if you continue denying it.
Mhm.
So we just had to put our courage, be brave, and just find out as much as we can about the condition. There's no point in denying it, it's not going to help the child. So, and with the help of very helpful psychologists, psychiatrists, we managed to see the importance of early intervention, the
Mhm.
importance of ABA and speech therapy and occupational therapy, and the whole lot, you know. So I even went overseas for courses in US, Australia, and UK, just to learn about how to help my child. And that was all financed by my husband. So with the knowledge that I gained, I came back and I worked on Anthony. So it has been a very heartbreaking time. I don't think I've ever worked so hard before, not even in my career. It is very heartbreaking when you don't get any reaction from your son. But the rewards are plentiful when he turned around and said, I love you, you know,
Mhm.
or things like that, when the breakthroughs come, it's really incomparable. The joy, that you feel, it makes it really worthwhile.
Okay.
So
So,
coming to the next part,
yeah,
what was his age when he did the first painting or art piece?
yeah.
Actually, I couldn't quite remember. And just now I asked him, and he told
Uh-huh.
me 8 years old.
Wow.
So I recollect that he's right. He was about 8 years old when
Uh-huh.
he finished the painting on a horse,
Okay.
and something about the expression in the horse's eyes,
Mhm.
and I don't know, the because he loves horses. He was attending special class, and there was an outing to the horse riding club, and I was asked to tag along. So I was keeping an eye on him, but suddenly he disappeared. So I was really frantic, and I managed to find him in the stable. And he was stroking the face of the horse, no fear at all, stroking the face of the horse and telling the horse, I love you, and he wasn't afraid that the horse is so much taller than him.
I see.
So,
So, Madam Helen, would it be true to assume that his art pieces then had a lot of horses in them in the beginning?
yeah, I mean, not that many, but
Okay.
few. And one of the paintings, it wasn't a really good painting, just
Mm-hmm.
using, um, I remember pastels, color pastels,
Mm-hmm.
crayons, and I was putting it up at a very rudimentary bazaar, a very simple bazaar, and we were trying to sell his batik pictures and cards and all that, but
Okay.
there was a white wall behind. So I said, Anthony, what shall we do with that white wall? I said, you want to put up your paintings? Then he said, yes. So I asked him to put it up. And he put up the painting of his horse
I
and a
see.
few others. And then later on, when the people started coming, there were foreigners as well. And one Frenchman was carrying his baby, a young toddler, and his child kept on pointing to Anthony's drawing of the horse.
Mm-hmm.
And he insisted that his father gets it for him. So
Okay.
finally, his father asked, how much is it? And I wasn't even prepared to sell the drawing, but because his son was so adamant, so
Mm-hmm.
I asked Anthony, do you want to sell it? He said, yes. So we sold it at a very reasonable price,
I see.
and that was his first painting.
Wow.
So that was when he was 8 years old.
8 years old, and another kid picked it up, and that was how he got the first aid. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sharing the details of how you found out about Anthony's condition. And very briefly, how would you list, maybe you can name um, two challenges faced during the process of creating an art piece? What would Anthony actually face? What kind? Maybe just
Well,
two?
to be quite frank, Anthony does not face any difficulty in creating his art piece.
Mm-hmm.
He just loves coloring. He just loves painting. His face all is all lightened up when he does his painting, and he gets carried away. He's so obsessed.
Okay.
The challenge is that initially he can't work for long.
Okay.
He cannot work for hours. He has moods, and maybe he'll do it for half an hour and walk off. And
Okay.
then I have to get him, to be in the right frame of mind, in his good mood, and then he
Okay.
will continue. You
I
know.
see.
So, but of course, when it comes to his favorite topics, favorite aspects like water,
Mm-hmm.
seascape, and
Mm-hmm.
flowers, he would be able to sit and work at it for longer periods until
I
it
see.
finished. So it all
Oh,
depends on his mood, and also whether he really loves that subject or not.
okay.
So
All right. So moving on,
yeah.
how do you think Anthony's involvement in art has affected you and your other family members?
Well, it has made us more appreciative of art.
Mm-hmm.
And we are always surprised, when we come back from our travels and we find that, he's inspired by sights, things that he has seen in our vacations, like
Okay.
this painting, Secret Cabin. I
Mm-hmm.
believe he was inspired by our trip to that place in the Holy Land.
Okay.
Um, can't remember offhand. It's one of the wonders of the world, and it has something like that. A lot of reddish kind of buildings.
Oh, okay.
So and then here and there were a bit of oasis kind of places where people could sell their things and all that.
Okay.
So and then also another painting that was inspired by a holiday was the waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Manila when we went to a place with a wonderful waterfall there, and we had lunch, in the water.
Okay.
They had tables, and you could walk in the water to get your food, and then you can eat at the side, the at the side of the waterfall. So
Mm-hmm.
he was so taken up by it. So when he came back, suddenly
That waterfall
he
painting.
was inspired to paint this waterfall.
I see.
So he really loves to do all this. I mean, it gives him great joy. So to, for our family, we have all learned more and more about art, and
Mm-hmm.
we always take him for art exhibitions,
Mm-hmm.
museums,
Okay.
wherever we go in even the Holy Land. There's so many places where there were beautiful paintings and, by artists in those areas, and we could, see the different effects, the cultural influence on the paintings, and
Mm-hmm.
it's broadened his whole perspective, lah, you
I
know.
see.
And
Okay.
then also Manila, there were a lot of paintings too,
Mm-hmm.
So we learned a lot, and Anthony learned, uh, he was inspired. I believe his
Okay.
artistic inspiration was, enhanced by all this.
Right. So, having said that, um, so art doesn't just affect the artists themselves, but the family as well. So, how do you think the local community and authorities can help cultivate and nurture more opportunities for special artists such as your son?
Well, I think we should, people should give artists more of a chance, and as much opportunity as possible to exhibit their talents, maybe commissioning work, um, instead of just one-off buying here and there,
Mhm.
maybe they can commission the artist to do something for their office or whatever,
Mhm.
there could be more requests like this. Because of the pandemic, I think it's not very advisable to have open market exhibitions, and
True.
online exhibitions, I think, would be better for
Yeah.
our special kids.
Right.
So anyway, everybody is so geared towards so computer savvy, the market, the marketplace is very different from years ago, and
True.
it's more digital. So we have to move with the trends lah.
Yes. Well said. Well said, Madam
Thank
Helen.
you.
And in fact, this dialogue session today is also happening. We are all at different locations, and thanks to technology, I think, in my opinion, just expanding from what you had just mentioned, um, we can actually move beyond the boundaries. Like instead of having an art exhibition at one particular place where only that particular set of people would come, now you can put it online. Anyone with internet access and any device can access it, right? All
Yeah.
right. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for sharing everything, Madam Helen.
Yes.
Okay, so right now we will move on to Dr. Anne. Hi, Dr. Anne.
Hi, Solo. Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Can you hear
So,
me clearly?
yes, we can
Okay,
very
okay.
clearly. Yes.
Right.
So, Dr. Anne, can you just briefly introduce yourself and what you do and all that?
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. I am Dr. N. I am a lecturer at one of the local universities. So I teaching in the Faculty of Languages. I've been working for many years there. Other than teaching, I dedicate my time mostly for supporting Yuri, artwork and his exhibition and other things related to addressing and supporting his skills.
Okay, so Dr. Anne, when did you discover your Yuri was special? At what age did you discover that he was?
Right. Okay. Yuri is our first child. So when he turned 1, he was not talking and responding when I called him, and and he did not make any sound at all. You know, he was very quiet, but he was very active, running around a lot. He was practically just all over the place, never sit still for a few minutes. He's just moving all the time, but that did not scare me or create curiosity. But the fact that he did not say anything at the age of 1, that made me very suspicious, because I'm a language person, so he should speak by the age of 1. Therefore I took him immediately to an audiologist, because I suspected that he could have hearing problem. Unfortunately, when we were there, we were told that he showed signs of autism. When he was not responding to me, it is not that he could not hear me, but he was actually in his own world. He was in his own world, imagining things, and that's why he was shutting me out. So that's the reason why he was not responding.
Mm.
So that happens quite a lot. So that means, he was in his own world more than, in the reality with us. And by age of 1 year, 6 months, then he was officially diagnosed as autistic. Yeah. So that was like 31 years ago when there was no internet. So I was really lost, not knowing what autism was all about, no reference and whatsoever. So but there was the movie Rain Man already playing, by what's his name, Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. So that was my only clue to what autism is all about. So it was very devastating. Yeah.
I can, like, to a certain extent understand that you must have both Madam Helen and Dr. Anne convey the same kind of message. Like, in the initial stage, it was definitely difficult to understand, first of all, what was happening, and you were looking for answers. And at that time, where there's no internet, like what you say, right? So you had
Mm.
gone through a lot to make sure that your child is in the best condition to grow, right? So
Yeah.
when was it that you discovered he could paint then?
Um, when he turned 4, or yeah, no, not less than that. Maybe when he turned 3, the moment he could hold a crayon, we gave him crayon, so he started scribbling a lot. a lot on any piece of paper that he could find, receipts, my book, etc., the wall, the doors. He was just, scribbling all over the place. And so I started buying him a lot of blank books, for him to start uh, doodling, and as he grew older, like the age of 5, like, when he started attending kindergarten, so his drawing becomes more refined, because there was there are classes, yeah, in the kindergarten art session. So as his drawing became more refined, you can see that the skill was emerging. So then we start nurturing him, by encouraging a lot of art, going to a lot of art classes, which started with mainly at that time, he was not on acrylic yet because he was very young. So he did a lot of crayon and color pencils.
Okay.
Yeah, he started with crayon and color pencils.
And then moved on to, does he use
Water paint.
water paint? Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, does he use all types of mediums for his
No,
artwork?
now he just focus on one, acrylic.
Acrylic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, having said that, do you think you mentioned that in kindergarten he had art classes going on, and that actually you saw a refined work, right? So,
Mm.
did did you send Yuri to art classes for?
Yeah, we did at many places, because we couldn't find one specific art teacher that actually go, you can't find an artist, you only find art teacher. So art teacher, they are not artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they just teach you the concepts. So Yuri attended several art teacher, scattered all over the place. I can't even recall one of them.
I
But
see.
we were not able to find an artist to train him until
Mhm.
much later. Yeah, until he became a teenager, then only we met an artist to start coaching him.
I see. So, do you think a formal education in art then is important to actually sharpen the skills?
Yeah, having naturally born skill is different from having attending a formal training. Formal training enhance the skill.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So, as a parent, how do you support your child's talent, Dr. M?
We participated in any exhibitions where we can showcase his work.
Mhm.
We participated in a lot of social media events so that we can promote his name. So I think Yuri Azari is quite known in the autism community for his artwork, because he's one of the oldest ones. Many are still young. So Yuri is already 32 years old, so he has been around quite a long time.
Okay.
And his paintings are quite distinguished from others because he particularly loves abstract. He
Mm.
doesn't draw pictures of building or any animate objects. He just abstracts. And he has this distinctive features about his artwork, that certain colors. He loves mixing several colors in his pieces. So Yuri has his own characteristics with his artwork. So that's one way. And then number two, other than that, participating in many exhibitions to showcase his work, we
Mhm.
continuously giving Yuri education. He still goes to a lot of we have some tutors coming to the house to teach him so that he doesn't lose touch with what's going on around the world. So Yuri watch a lot of online learning about geography, names of
Mhm.
places, history, so that he becomes more diversified, not just focus on painting.
I see. So,
Mm.
continuous learning is what
Yes,
you
he is going through continuous learning.
that's very good. Yeah.
Mm.
So, do you think there is enough support then from the community and local authorities to display the art produced by?
I
Um,
think it's still, yeah, that part is still very much lacking because it's a special needs artists are competing with able artists. yeah, with bigger names. So we really need help to push these artists forward, because the market for them is not big compared to established artists, and the cost of hosting an exhibition is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish, we could get support, like, showcasing their artwork, because every time we want to organize an exhibition, it takes a lot of money, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to showcase his artwork with some galleries also costs a lot of money, because gallery owners charge a big amount,
Mm-hmm.
and they also take big discount on the sales
The
of their
proceeds,
artwork.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
the proceeds goes a lot to them.
I see. Understand.
Yeah,
All right. So thank you. Thank you for sharing, Dr. N.
you're welcome.
Yeah. So I'll just like to hold on. Yeah. Madam Helen, would you like to add anything else? And Dr. N, would you like to add anything else? To...
I Let's Miss Helen say something first,
Okay.
if she has anything.
Yes, just before we close.
Madam Helen, you have to unmute.
Yeah, just unmute it.
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Yeah. Well, Anthony is doing grade 12 of a high school diploma based in US. It's called Seton Catholic School. So
Mm-hmm.
he has been getting grade A's most of the time. And his subjects includes art. It's called Art Paper 6, which is structured by very renowned artists. So
Mm.
it's very structured, and he's moving from the basics. So there are assignments, and in this way, I feel that he's developing his art knowledge as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to that, he's studying world history, science, and all his tests are online, maths, English, and so on. So it's very demanding, especially on me, but it's worth it because I can see that, he really enjoys the intellectual challenges and the pursuit, and he's able to communicate much better in writing now.
Thank you.
Um, so it's to complement and to balance him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he spends his time mostly either homeschooling or painting.
I
Uh,
see.
so that doesn't leave much time for anything else except the gym. So that's what I can share about Anthony. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Madam Helen. And anything else you would like to add, Dr. N?
Okay. Okay, I've explained about Yuri, what he
Mm-hmm.
does.
Mm-hmm.
So, in short, I would like to conclude that, to in every child there is they all in every child there is a special skill in them. They are just different from each other. Some autistic children are very good at music. Some are very good at painting. Some are very good at baking. So let's just celebrate, the idiosyncrasies in every children that we have, because we don't compare our child to another child. All right, so in my case, Yuri is good at art, but there are other artists who are also good at art, and whenever we go to any art exhibition, we would not say, like, oh, my son's painting is better than the other child. So I try to celebrate every child's success and enjoy it, no, without any discrimination. So we hope that the community will also appreciate the artwork of special artists as good as, and they are as great as able artists.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well said, Dr. N. And uh, believe me, as both Dr. N and Madam Helen shared about the early ages of Anthony and Yuri, I could relate it to any kid around. I mean, I have to tell my nephews to stay off the wall because they would scribble just anywhere. So these are things that any child would go through. It's just that special children or kids with special needs just are different in one particular area. But let's all celebrate the the uniqueness, and the similarities that we have.
Yeah.
And yeah, and art is just such a very, very nice thing, in fact. All right, so I hope this dialogue session and the special artist exhibition, which is still ongoing until 2nd June, will pave the way for more special artists to be known and welcomed in our art industry. I also hope that the community at large, especially parents, would continue supporting the growth and well-being of these artists. Of course, local authorities, everybody within the community should be supporting this. All right, so Priya, would you like to say anything in conclusion as the
Well,
organizer?
yes, thank you so much, Madam Helen and Dr. Anne, for joining us and giving all this informations. It was very, very valuable informations because I just hope that this will be kind of like eye opener for other parents with children with special needs to actually work with them and to help them out to find, like what is their interest, where their interest is, and so I really hope that this initiative, that um, really kind of like be an eye opener. So this exhibition got delayed twice due to pandemic, and I'm kind of like taking it in a positive way because this forced me into coming out with this online exhibition. And through this, I hope more people will actually get to know about these special artists, all these talented artists. Each of them are so unique with their own unique work. They don't copy, like the special thing about them, they're not going to be copying anyone. They're going to be so
Original?
individual, so original. Exactly, they you cannot make them copy anybody's work. So I really hope that everyone can see this and support us, at least like for those of you who are watching this, if you could share about this, because there are so many ways that you can actually help, not only by buying them, like what Madam Helen said. You can also commission, ask them to do commission painting. You can provide places at your place where they can put up their paintings. There are so many other ways that you can support. So I really hope somehow this will be, you know, coming out rightly. So thank you so much, Sulu. I'm not so good with talking, so I had to get Sulu's help
You spoke
here.
for nearly 2 minutes, so don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let Sulu to wrap
Yeah.
it up now.
All right. So thank you once again to Madam Helen and Dr. Anne for joining us today. With that, I thank you all, and let's hope that the art within everyone continues to grow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sulu. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you so much.